Hello and welcome to Max TV. This isn't staged, it's real life. This video features the craziest, most shocking, and unbelievable animal encounters ever caught on camera. From unexpected attacks and rescues to funny, touching, and dangerous moments, no editing, no scripts, just real animals and real emotions. Let's begin. A blind man approached a crosswalk and his guide dog immediately sprang into action. The dog barked loudly, stopping cars and demanding the right of way. Then it returned to its owner and confidently led him across the street. A true four-legged hero. When a drone flew too close, the rheas reacted extremely aggressively. One bird suddenly lunged straight at the camera, struck it with its beak, and knocked it to the ground. A powerful hit, and the drone was broken. As the saying goes, rats are the first to flee a sinking ship. People found it funny that this rat could hold on and fell into the water, but it seemed their own ship might soon be going down too. On a busy street, a dog with sad, droopy ears gently weaves between pedestrians. She's collecting money for her owner, a street musician playing nearby. Her touching loyalty and serious expression during this mission brings smiles and sympathy from everyone who passes by. A man came up with a genius way to feed his chickens. He hung zucchinis and watermelons from a frame so the birds could peck from underneath while the food gradually slid down. That way the chickens always have fresh food and don't gobble it all at once. A cat was peacefully feeding her kittens, but then their dad, a full-grown cat, rudely latched on too. The owner pulled him away and playfully smacked his butt, after which he ran off. Hilarious moment. Two leopards took a break high up in a tree. One was lying peacefully while the other played nearby. The funniest part was when one slipped but didn't fall. With quick reflexes and sharp claws, it latched onto a branch and climbed right back up. Agility at its finest. This cat clearly isn't a fan of a nearby drone. It's noisy and ruined his nap. So he switched into karate mode and struck the drone midair with a spinning kick. An incredible leap, precision, and sheer grumpiness in one move. The drone didn't see it coming. At night, a cat decided to surprise its owner in an unusual way. It climbed onto the bed and dropped a freshly caught rat right into the mouth of the sleeping man. A fearless cat stood right in the middle of the road and arched its back as if ready to fight. A small, fluffy roadblock against an entire car. A spectacular sight. On the streets of Rishikesh, a real sensation occurred. A bull calmly settled on the back seat of a scooter and decided to go for a ride. A true Indian blend of absurdity. Tourists filming an alligator on a log were shocked when a crazy raccoon approached. Everyone thought an attack was about to happen, but instead, they both got scared and ran off in opposite directions. A woman let her cat out into the yard where two deer were standing. The feline predator charged and sent them running. One jumped over the fence and the other froze in confusion. The cat handled him too in seconds. In Japan, the fight against hornet nests is downright terrifying. These insects are deadly, so workers destroy massive hives only in full protective suits. Without it, a person wouldn't last a minute. While cleaning his aquarium, a guy accidentally turned it into an extreme water park for his fish. The poor thing got spun around like in a centrifuge. She definitely won't forget this day anytime soon. When a horse is galloping at full speed, stopping becomes nearly impossible. In one case, the horse couldn't brake in time and crashed straight into a white car. Luckily, no one was hurt. Another horse ran full speed into a house. But as if nothing had happened, it jumped up and ran off again. A truly iron will. This is a rare event. A man caught a large rudd, but a huge pike latched onto it. The predator's hunting instinct took over, and the pike refused to let go even at the surface. The fisherman got very lucky. This falcon clearly laid its eggs in the wrong place. The wind is so strong that the bird simply can't stay put. A cat launched a real hunt for a mouse, just like in Tom and Jerry, but the rodent cleverly hid behind a flower pot and dashed away, leaving the cat with nothing. A silly squirrel climbed into a tree hollow, not realizing there was a beehive inside. Within seconds, the whole swarm attacked, and the poor thing was fleeing completely covered in bees. A simple but brilliant chicken trap, just a leaf, a stick, and some bait. Once the chicken grabs the food, it sees nothing else, making it easy to walk up and catch her. An old village trick that still works today. A cat learned sign language for its deaf-mute owner. Now when it's hungry, it doesn't meow. It silently waves its paw towards its mouth, and the owner understands everything. On the highway, a wild raccoon suddenly popped out of the back of a white Toyota pickup. It rushed into the wind, fur flying, and the whole thing looked incredibly funny. This cat that fell into the water is a perfect example. If you stop panicking and start thinking, you can find your way out of any situation. A man grabbed a stick and rushed to the rescue. A squirrel was barely staying afloat in a small kiddie pool, completely exhausted. He extended the stick, and the animal grabbed on like it was its last chance, a moment on the edge between life and death. A compilation of fearless cats who boldly attack dogs without hesitation. The pups are completely shocked by the nerve, and the scenes are absolutely hilarious. An unexpected moment, two pigeons started pushing a third one onto the train tracks. And yes, they really shoved their buddy under a train. A chilling sight. A kitten escapes from its cage just to play with a puppy. No bars or rules can stop the desire to be with a friend. A true jailbreak for friendship. An elephant decided to swing on a tree, but something went wrong. He hung from a thick branch and it snapped. A loud crack, an epic fall, and a slightly embarrassed elephant. Workers removed a few roof tiles and were shocked. A cloud of bats burst out from the roof. They flew out of every crack and filled the air. That's a kind of neighbor nobody wants. Rescuers used a crane to reach a window where a cat had gotten stuck. It had squeezed through a gap, got caught at the belly, and couldn't move forward or back. The men carefully freed it, despite its resistance, and saved the fluffy prisoner. These poor lion cubs were escaping buffalo by clinging to the branches of a dry tree. Falling while a buffalo passed underneath would have meant certain death, but they made it. Once the buffalo left, the cubs dropped to the ground and went off to find their pride. People were hiding under umbrellas thinking it was raining, but it wasn't water from the sky. It was cicada pee. These insects drink so much tree sap that they literally spray down from above like a mini downpour. Nature's wild madness, absolutely real. During a Spanish running of the Bulls Festival, a man found shelter under a staircase by the roadside. A furious bull spotted him and charged, but the man darted into his burrow just in time. It saved his life. An unusual fishing method, a man used a sock drying rack, clipped worms to each peg, and lowered it into the water. There were so many fish that he pulled up an entire string of crucian carp at once. A catch you have to see to believe. A man was sitting by the roadside when a donkey walked up, and then it began. The man started yelling at it as if he spoke fluent donkey. The funniest part, the donkey actually responded, braying loudly in return. It looked like they were having a real conversation, the dialogue of the century. A man was walking his cat along the beach when it suddenly heard a splash. Instantly alert, the cat sprinted toward the shore and, with one perfect swipe, caught a fish right by the water. A true hunter. He proudly carried it back to the beach chair and started eating it like it was all part of the plan. In an Indian village, a tiger started attacking domestic cows. The locals decided to catch it and set up a cage in the forest with a bait and a camera. During the night, the predator was trapped, and by morning, everyone saw it behind bars. Hopefully, the tiger will be relocated deep into the jungle and released back into the wild. Fishermen set off in a boat but forgot to bring bait for their rods. Seeing a school of small fish, one man jumped into the water and used his sweater as a net. He scooped up a bunch of tiny fish. Bait problem solved. Big bulls are a bit crazy. When they see a tractor, they charge without hesitation. They clearly see it as a living rival, refusing to back down and even trying to pierce the metal body with their horns. The machine backs away, the bull doesn't. It's like a Wild West showdown, but with wheels instead of cowboys. Two mice are fighting right in front of a cat, and he just watches calmly like a spectator in an arena. No hunting, no fear, just cold curiosity and total composure. A true master of self-control. A man spotted a cat stuck on the windowsill of a high-rise. He lowered a bag on a stick, and the cat quickly understood it was being rescued. It climbed in, and the man carefully pulled it to safety. A baby elephant got stuck in a narrow, muddy stream and couldn't climb the steep bank. It struggled for a long time until its mother noticed. She came down to the baby, pushed it up, and then calmly climbed out herself. A golden retriever gets a running start, leaps over a fence, and dives straight into the neighbor's pool. No one can stop him. Swimming is his favorite thing. Since he doesn't have his own pool, he sneaks over to enjoy the water at every chance. Somehow, a group of Canada Goose chicks ended up on a supermarket roof. Their parents circled nearby, clearly worried. The little one stood right at the edge, unsure if they'd survive the jump. A tense and touching moment filled with hope. In Africa, a man wanted a photo with an elephant, but the elephant turned out to be a prankster. It grabbed the man's hat with its trunk and stuffed it into its mouth, pretending to swallow it. Only after the man got on his knees and begged did the elephant take it out and give it back. This cat is a true super hunter. It notices even the tiniest fly and catches it mid-jump with its paw right on the window. With a guardian like this, you won't need a fly trap. A man saw a stray cat barely holding on to a narrow ledge, risking a deadly fall. Without a second thought, he climbed to the edge of the window and offered the cat a box. Tense seconds passed, and then he held the box with the cat safely inside. This act not only saved a life, but showed what a kind heart can do. Right outside a house, a leopard sneaks up on a sleeping dog. In a flash, a lightning-fast attack. They tumble at a deadly fight. Luckily, other dogs rush to help, and only then did they manage to scare off the wild cat. Rare behind-the-scenes footage, horse scenes in films are often shot without real animals. Actors sit on lifelike horse dummies mounted on wheeled platforms. These rock back and forth to simulate motion, creating the full illusion of a real gallop. People on paddleboards surrounded a whale and its calf when they unexpectedly swam too close to shore. No one had ever seen anything like it, and the crowd watched in awe. At one point, the whale turned and even brushed a kayak with its tail. Luckily, no one was hurt. A truly mesmerizing experience. During a flood, a mother buffalo and her calf were swept into a raging river. The current was so strong it seemed they might drown. But help arrived in time. People rushed to pull them out. Thankfully, both mom and baby were saved. A group of reckless tourists came dangerously close to a bear calmly eating fish by the shore. They were taking photos nearby, and one madman even touched the animal. The bear growled and showed aggression, but miraculously didn't attack. They were lucky, as it could have ended in tragedy. A man decided to play a shell game with his Labrador. The dog couldn't guess correctly, and the owner won all her puppies in just a few seconds. A funny little prank. In the morning, a woman went to wake her dog, only to find it completely covered in snow. It's hard to believe a dog could sleep so soundly in such cold, but clearly it can. For his birthday, a boy's parents gave him some odd toys. Confusion was clear in his eyes, but he still tried to smile. Then came the big moment. Dad brought in a Labrador puppy. The boy's emotions definitely deserve your like. This is why keeping wild boars at home is dangerous. They never become fully tame and can suddenly attack. The risk is simply too high. A compilation of funny moments where dogs mess with cats. The reactions of the fluffy victims always bring laughter. With a mischievous grin, a man launched a remote-controlled boat on a lake and began teasing a crocodile. The reptile wasn't amused. It gave chase, snapped, and tried to bite the pesky toy. The man was clearly having fun, while the croc was left baffled and annoyed. In Bali, Indonesia, a diver came face-to-face underwater with a massive white shark. It swam straight toward him, but at the last moment turned and vanished into the deep. A moment he'll never forget. Two fighting dogs somehow ended up on the property of a private home. The whole family hid in the swimming pool while the dogs prowled around, unable to reach them. A chilling scene. Hopefully the dogs left quickly. A man calmly threw trash into a bin, unaware that a massive bear was sitting inside. The animal burst out, startled by the gift, but didn't rush to leave the container. The man was lucky he didn't see the bear. No matter what happens, this ground squirrel stays calm. Its body sways, but its head stays frozen in place. It looks like it activated stabilization mode, just like the best cameras. Definitely a superpower. A baby beaver decided to go for a swim, but mom spotted this unsanctioned dip. She grabbed him with her front paws and adorably carried him back to the den. Classic beaver parenting, hilarious and sweet. A father gave his little son a fishing rod and filmed him fishing. No one expected such a big bite, but the boy managed to reel in a giant perch, wider than he was. Definitely the biggest catch of his life. On the road, a man spotted a large lizard that suddenly bolted and almost got hit by a car, but in a split second, it spun around and darted into the bushes. Its reaction speed was absolutely incredible. Tourists immediately started filming when they spotted a tiger standing in a shallow stream, face to face with a massive king cobra. As soon as the cobra turned toward the tiger and took a defensive stance, the tiger instantly realized it was time to back off. A real hack: to quickly remove watermelon seeds, just give a piece to a chicken. She'll peck out all the seeds instantly, and you can enjoy your snack without the hassle. Hunters spotted a deer in the forest with enormous antlers tangled in trash and remnants of clothing. It looked both creepy and funny, as if the deer had walked straight out of a scary fairy tale. Can you explain what this sea turtle is doing? It's just lying on the bottom, blowing bubbles. Either it has a serious goal or a very strange mood. A kitten was playing on the road and got completely tangled in the blanket. Mama cat quickly came to discipline him, then calmly began straightening the bedding. It's like she knew the owners would be upset. Incredible care and cleverness. Two bears were fighting on a cliff and accidentally tumbled off from a great height. One fell and stood up immediately, while the other rolled down sharp rocks. It looked fatal, but somehow the bear stood up and recovered. We hope it survived. A home security camera captured a cat on a bed doing something strange, rolling up the blanket into a big ball. He fussed with it for a long time, tugging and twisting, eventually shaping it into something like a giant candy. In Indonesia, a man walked up to a river and spotted a giant monitor lizard in the water. He started filming, but the lizard noticed him first and bolted. The terrified man took off running so fast that only his heels were visible. In Africa, a full 4-day rescue operation unfolded to save an elephant stuck in a swamp. At first, people tried digging it out by hand, then tied ropes and pulled with jeeps. Step by step, they managed to drag the giant out by its legs. Fortunately, the elephant stood up and survived. The owner knew her cats were too aggressive, so she enclosed the balcony with a protective net, but even through it, the fluffy predators tried to reach a pigeon on the neighbor's balcony. The bird calmly teased them just centimeters away, and of course, remained uncaught. The owner kept losing chickens, so he installed a netting around the coop. A fox came for another snack, but no matter how much it ran around, it couldn't get in. The chickens are safe at last. The man climbed onto the roof to fix something and minutes later found his dog next to him. How it got up there was a mystery until the home security camera revealed everything. While people were swimming, a bold monkey snuck into a tourist's bag and started rummaging around. The owner noticed just in time and rushed over, but the little thief had no intention of fleeing. A hilarious scene. A man was incredibly lucky. A snake bit him right in his hat. Without it, he might not have survived. A man filmed a deer that had already lost one antler, while the other, still on its head, looked huge. The deer shook its head, clearly trying to get rid of it, and eventually the antler fell off on its own with ease. A guy found a tiny primate in the forest with eyes that took up half its head. It was a Philippine tarsier. The creature was nestled between bark and leaves, staring nervously, but it looked insanely cute. Hard to believe something like this actually exists. A car parked near the ocean found itself surrounded. On one side, seagulls and albatrosses. On the other, the same, and even beggars were sitting on the roof. The symmetrical scene looked very amusing. A woman decided to help a wild duck as her ducklings couldn't climb up the high curb. At first, the mama duck took a defensive stance, but soon realized her babies were being rescued and calmed down. Now that's a dog's vacation. The owner just couldn't stop him. The Labrador was sprinting through water in a shopping mall like it was the best day of his life. A man kayaking ended up right among a group of giant manta rays, also known as sea cows. The water erupted with powerful splashes, creating a breathtaking sight. These gentle giants aren't dangerous, and he got an unforgettable experience with zero risk. In Costa Rica, a fisherman caught an incredibly rare orange shark. He'd never seen anything like it, and even scientists were shocked. The man released it back into the ocean. On a golf course, people filmed an incredible moment, a lynx sneaking up on some bushes where rabbits were clearly hiding. It crept up cautiously, then struck like lightning, and just like that, it had a rabbit in its jaws. A true hunting master, vanishing with its prize in seconds. A man in a boat rescued a small bird that looked like a swallow. It was soaked and couldn't fly, so he took it home. Over time, it became a beloved pet that didn't want to leave its rescuer. A dog resembling a poodle ended up on the edge of a bridge and could have fallen into the water at any moment. A brave woman climbed over to him, grabbed his paws, and rescued the animal while everyone around applauded. Fortunately, he didn't fall. This cat definitely knows the way home. In a second, it shoots up a tree and lands right on the second floor balcony. Agility and speed make him a true acrobat. Next up, a device straight out of science fiction. A compact unit tracks mosquito movement in real time and fires with pinpoint precision. As soon as a bug enters the zone, a thin, nearly invisible laser instantly zaps the target. No noise, no smell, no chemicals, just pure tech. This squirrel is definitely up to something. It's training so hard you'd think it's preparing for the rodent Olympics. A black belt in karate is practically guaranteed. A bystander filmed a bear approaching a car and opening the back door, but something suddenly burst out of the vehicle, startling the bear. It bolted in fear. Apparently, there were people inside. A girl brought her horse to a small statue of a horse. Seeing it for the first time, the animal was totally stunned. It sniffed and rubbed its head against it. It probably thought it had found a new buddy. A lion crept up on a vulture that, for some reason, couldn't take off. The bird tried to run and even bit the lion on the nose, but in the end, the lion simply walked away without harming it. At an African hotel, a hippopotamus wandered into the pool at night. It struggled to get out, ruined the water, and damaged the tiles. It finally managed to leave the next day, and the staff had to drain and clean the entire pool. A little dog circled a toy vending machine, wagging its tail like it was begging for a new fluffy friend. People noticed and decided to help. One guy grabbed a toy and handed it right to the pup's paws. The dog beamed with joy and never let go of its new buddy. A mother bear teaches her cub how to catch salmon in the raging river. She skillfully grabs fish with her paws while the cub watches closely and immediately tries to copy her. That's how animals learn to hunt in the wild. In the morning, tourists woke up and find they can't leave their tent. The walls and ceiling were covered in mosquitoes. Turned out they'd pitched their tent in a swampy area. That mosquito zapping laser would have come in handy. When you're too hungry to wait, one puppy actually did a somersault to get the milk. Looks like that's all that mattered in the moment. A skier on a mountain spotted a small rodent, a lemming. But instead of running, the tiny creature started bouncing and squeaking as if trying to attack. Funny and unexpected. On her birthday, a girl was asked to close her eyes for a special surprise. When she opened them, a puppy was in her arms. Her emotions overflowed. Tears of joy, a big smile, and a dream come true. A heartwarming moment to remember.
Let us see him.
A man spotted a wild bear near his house, rummaging through garbage bins. As the man approached, the bear got scared and ran back into the forest. He successfully chased the uninvited guest away without harming it. A random witness captured an amazing moment. A kingfisher sat on the riverbank, then suddenly dove into the water. In a flash, it resurfaced with a tiny fish in its beak, a true hunter in action. A few funny scenes showed dogs bringing home the most unexpected friends. Sometimes it's other animals, and sometimes it's the most surprising guests. Each encounter brings laughter and amazement. A cheeky cat decided to get revenge on the dog. The poor pup was in total shock. It had never seen such a rude awakening before. This poor dog was trapped in a hot car and people had to call the police. An officer smashed the window with one strike and rescued the poor thing. This dog surfs waves so confidently that many human surfers would be jealous. A true surf superstar on 4 legs. At night, a hyena spotted a water trough about a meter off the ground. It tried to climb up for a drink, but got stuck and couldn't get down. Other hyenas watched from a distance, and eventually, with a sudden jerk, it broke free, scaring the rest in the process. A deer burst into a university lecture hall, panicking as it jumped around the stairs, unable to find the exit. A woman filmed the chaos, and at some point, the deer figured out how it had entered. It leapt back out through a window and ran off unharmed. This eagle attacked the dog right on the road in front of the house. As you can see, the second brave dog rushes to the defense and saves its friend from the sharp claws.